Hello, 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 hello. Hola, bonjour, aloha. I think we can stop there. Um, welcome back. We're back in Southampton this week. And the date is Saturday, the 4th of December, 2021. AD, for those of you who are wondering. I'm filming this during rush hour, so forgive me if there's some car noises in the background. My room is right next to a fairly busy crossing, like a junction. Hopefully it shouldn't be too bad, but I would suspect there'll be a few car horns perhaps, or maybe a siren at some point, who knows. I wanted to make a video a bit earlier because I'm feeling a little bit weary. So I wanted to make this now, before the evening sort of gets a hold of me and takes me softly to sleep, as I think it will. I'm planning to have a hot chocolate and then just probably go to bed. So this is my pre-hot chocolate video. What am I talking about? I wanted to chat to you guys today because basically I had a much better week this week, and I wanted to share that. So last week, obviously, I was in Leeds. This time last week, when I did my videos on Sunday, I was in Leeds, and I had quite a low week, to be honest. And I sort of ended up on the Sunday feeling quite low, feeling very sort of seasonally affected, and I sort of was brainstorming, what to do about that basically. And I've essentially followed through on the two things I said that I would do in the video, which were, I have booked an appointment with a GP, so I'm going to be going to that next week on Thursday. So I've actually done it. For those of you who know me, I actually have booked an appointment with a GP. I'm going to go see a doctor. So that is quite breathtaking, to be honest, isn't it? A little bit. So I've done that. And then basically I've just forced myself to start waking up earlier every day at 9 a.m. regardless. Like even today, I got up at 9, even though I was technically out last night and I didn't go to bed until about 2:30. I thought, no, I'm going to still get up at 9 because I need that sunlight, that daylight, and that's been very helpful, to be honest. I think that might be the most important sort of change that I've made this week. I've been getting up at 9 o'clock every day, sometimes even a bit earlier, and going outside and just that extra sort of 2 or 3 hours of sunlight really makes the difference, especially when the total sunlight for the day is sort of like 7 hours or something. If it's dark at sort of 4, and you're not getting up until 9. It's still not a lot, but it's more than just a handful. So I think that's definitely made a difference. And I think mentally, having that kind of structure in my week and in my days of, I'm going to get up at 9, and then, I have more time in the morning to sort of get ready and do things. And having a bit more structure, I think, of my sleep schedule has been very helpful for me, as I've been very, productive and have, felt better as a result of that. Because I think, productivity, really like real productivity, not just doing things, but doing things that are actually meaningful, that, you think, this is a good thing that I'm doing, and true productivity, shall we say, rather than just arbitrary productivity, it makes you feel better, doesn't it? I mean, I think you probably know that yourself. When you accomplish something, you think, I'm really glad I did that. Even today I was pretty tired, but I changed my bed sheets and I washed them, and and all that, and I worked out today. I've worked out 3 times this week, which is quite rare for me. I normally only work out twice in a week, but I've done it, every other day for the last, since Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I worked out, and again, that sort of just having that extra session really just keeps the kind of momentum going, I think. And I think momentum is a very important part of mental health. I think if you get on a bit of a roll, if you find yourself in a good moment, try and keep going with it. Try and push yourself a little bit further. Don't just sit on your laurels and think, I'm in a good moment, I can just take my foot off the gas, because life can be quite unrelenting, unforgiving. Don't we all know it? And so if you find yourself in a good streak, keep going with it. Don't keep the discipline if you can, and keep it going. And I think that's also contributed to my relative upturn in well-being this week. I mean, it's not been all good, obviously. I've still felt sad at points, confused, lonely, a bit disconnected, but it's definitely been a lot more manageable than last week. Last week I definitely sort of went off a cliff a bit psychologically. I was it was a big drop off out of nowhere. I felt like something within just sort of gave way, and I was just like, right, I don't know what's going on here. So this week I've definitely felt much more of a sense of self-esteem and a sense of sort of motivation. I can't say it's been like incredible, not like, yeah, I'm going to be doing all this stuff, but I don't mind doing things. Whereas last week I sort of was like, everything I was doing was contributing to my feeling of apathy and, mild depression. This week, I'm not saying that I've necessarily enjoyed the work that I've been doing, but yeah, I say it's felt meaningful. It's felt like, no, I'm glad that I've done that, which I didn't have last week. So that's been very, very good. So if anyone's watching this, and the two takeaways really are, make sure you're getting up, as early as you really can be, to be honest. And if I get used to this 9 a.m. schedule, I might even try and push it to 8 a.m. because, again, it's another hour of daylight, and, that's just invaluable. I mean, naturally, I'm more of a late riser. I like going to bed quite late. And so that's why I think another of the reasons why I really love summer is because it's light for ages. So you can kind of afford to get up late and it doesn't really make a difference, and you can stay up for a while and, it's sort of fine. But with winter, you don't really get away with it. It can be the consequences on your mental health can be very catastrophic if you let that kind of go. If you let any sort of sleep structure go, it can be quite damaging, which I'm sure this is not it's not rocket science, shall we say, but it's still important to say. So that's been very good this week. Creatively, I've not been doing much. I think I've just got a lot of uni work at the moment, and that's taking a fair amount of energy. The sort of the energy that I do have, that can give away, I mostly give to that. So today, even I spent a few hours doing, it felt like a few hours. I don't actually, it's probably more like an hour, but doing some reading for this next essay that I've got, 100 Years of War essay. So that was, and again, it felt good to do that because my essay basically is, the title of the essay is essentially it's a quote from a chapter in a book by a historian, and it's basically this quote and then discuss. So I thought I better read this chapter because I need to understand the context of what this person is talking about. So it was good to read that. But and I feel myself sort of, desires are coming back. I find myself wanting to do things, wanting to kind of experience things. I want things to happen, really. So I'm trying to slowly get myself back into some sort of I don't know if it's necessarily like a social groove, because I don't know if that's going to happen, but trying to just open myself up again to the idea of experiencing new things socially, because I think I've closed myself off for a little while, which I think was fair, and I think I needed that. But I think that now I find myself going, I think I'd like to have some fun and just kind of have something adventurous happen. I think that this time of year, I think that would be very nourishing for me to experience that, for something to happen and just kind of give you a bit of a spark, something new and unexpected, because I think that's, I think that winter, I wouldn't say winter necessarily needs that, but I think you feel adventure maybe a bit more. Do you feel adventure more in the winter? Maybe things mean more in the winter, when really good things or fun things happen in the winter, it might feel more, but again, I guess it depends on your level of depression or how you're feeling, because things might not get through. So I guess maybe summer is more susceptible to fun things happening, if that makes sense. But I think there is a certain charm to adventures happening in the winter. You might have a cold, bleak day, but you go out and something fun happens. You think, wow, my day was saved. I mean, even today, literally I don't even know if it was an hour, but I was actually leaping around my room, really not that long ago, because Liverpool beat Wolves today 1-0. Origi scored in the 95th minute, which he's done before, I think, or close to. Yeah, for those of you who don't know Liverpool, there's a player called Divock Origi. He really is. He only plays as like a substitute, but he scored some absolutely iconic goals for us, and he always seems to show up in those massive games where we really need a goal. And yeah, he popped up today. I don't know even the last time he scored in the league. It's probably ages ago. I think it was ages ago. And yeah, he scores us the winner to get us the 3 points. And I found this out because I was so annoyed, tired and annoyed. I've been quite tired today after working out, and I walked into town to try and do something to go to pick up a jacket actually that I was getting repaired from a shop, but the shop was shut because it's a Saturday and I just didn't think. And so then I walked all the way into town for that, walked all the way back. So basically 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. I didn't achieve anything. And all the while I knew the game was going on, Liverpool against Wolves. And it was 0-0 the whole time. And I was like, oh, no, because like Chelsea have lost today. So we need to win to go above them. And then if we don't win, Man City are going to obviously beat Watford. So they're going to be at the top. And we need to keep going. And I was like, we need to string some wins together, And then I checked the match at 90+2. And, I was like, oh, really? 0-0? And then I checked literally 2 minutes later and I couldn't believe it. I went on BBC Sport and I was literally praying, saying, please, I want it to please be 1-0. Please, I want to look at that little box on the side of the screen and for it to say 1-0. And it said 1-0. And I did that. I just couldn't believe it. Literally got up, started jumping around the room, like shouting. And, I don't know what my point with this was. Oh yeah, just the idea that, it's kind of like, yeah, if something really amazing happens in winter on a day when it's quite boring and a bit grey and a bit cold, it can save your day. It can make you feel really great, which I don't think is a very profound point, but there you go. But yeah, what else has been happening this week? I've been listening to quite a lot of the Kooks, to be honest. And again, I think that has really helped with my mental health, my mood, which I should actually say, yeah, that will be a third factor in the upturn this week. Has just been, I've been listening to what I'd call seasonally appropriate music. So an album that I haven't listened to in a long time, but really since winter last year or this year, like February time, is one of my favourite albums, and it's Bright Night Flowers by John Fratelli, which you should check out if you haven't. John Fratelli is one of the most underrated songwriters of our time, and his solo work is incredible, especially his second solo album, Bright Night Flowers. It's only 9 songs, but they're all just so lush and melodic, and just they're piano based and atmospheric at the same time, and it's really remarkable. But it's the kind of music that I just don't feel at all connected to or really want to listen to in the summer or spring. And I think I listened to it for the first time in a long time the other day when it was the 1st of December. I was walking into town, and it was just the whole album washed over me, and it was amazing. But I think whilst it's it's good to listen to that kind of music, your Nick Drakes, your Bob Dylans, some people maybe Phoebe Bridgers or maybe Radiohead, that kind of slightly darker, more emotional, melancholic music. There is a place for that. I think that you shouldn't just say, I'm not going to listen to what you normally call summer music or upbeat music in the winter, because I've been listening to a lot of the Kooks, particularly their first album, just their kind of big hits really, like She Moves in Her Own Way, Jackie Big Tits, Eddie's Gun. Those are probably my 3 favourites on the track, as well as their second album as well, like Tick of Time and Hatful of Love. For those Kooks fans, Kooks fans will know those songs are connected. But listening to them, it's just I was saying I was having a conversation on text with my best friend the other day, and I was saying some of the Kooks kind of music, like those songs, make me feel like I'm sort of like 15 and I'm just completely in love with a girl, but being in love is not in any way painful. It's just like such a pure experience. And that's how I kind of feel. I get connected to that part of myself when I listen to the Kooks, really, the early Kooks stuff. You know, so listening to a lot of that music this week has been really helpful. I mean, I dare you to play She Moves in Her Own Way in front of anyone who's British and, you know, see what the reaction is. I bet it'll be unanimously amazing. You know, people will be singing the lyrics or humming it. Everyone knows that song. That song is in every British person's consciousness. So I dare you to do it. You know, you could be in a terrible social interaction and, you know, you put that on and it would just light up the whole thing. Like I drove some friends to this social event last night. It was a society ball. And I drove 2 friends of mine. And I had the album on, Inside In, Inside Out. And She Moves in Her Own Way came on. And the conversation stopped and they were just singing along to it. And then they resumed the conversation. I just thought, that's amazing. That's the power of music, you know. And I guess as a songwriter, my aim, my ambition would be to write at least one song that, you know, has that effect. You know, I think that's what I would definitely strive for. You know, and maybe one day I'll do it. Who knows? But yeah, Kooks, very inspirational and very uplifting. And, you know, I think I will keep listening to them probably. Because I've listened to now their first 3 albums. Eskimo Kiss as well is another great one, which I've discovered. I only discovered it myself recently. So I'm going to listen to I think they've released 5 albums, so I'll listen to the 4th and 5th probably soon. But yeah, them are like, yeah, Stereophonics as I've recently I've been listening to a lot of the last sort of few weeks. Stereophonics been really, really good. You know, like Pick Apart That's New, The Bartender and the Thief. You Wouldn't Believe Your Radio. Hurry Up and Wait. These are, you know, great songs. But yeah, so I'd say that to you, you know, just listen to your favorite music, you know. Just it will help. So yeah, get up earlier, you know, have more daylight, keep exercising, listen to music that you might think, oh, I shouldn't listen to that now because it's not appropriate for the season. But I think great music can be played all year round. That's what makes great music great, right? It's, you know, you can listen to it really in any mood, and, you know, if it's that great a song, you know, it will lift you up. It will take you where it wants to take you. You know, and I think I've actually thought about that quite a lot with regards to just art in general. You know, I think that's what would differentiate good art from great art, or good music from great music, or good films from great films. You know, is that I think my favourite films, and what I would say are the greatest films I've seen, which really means that they're my favourite. And same with music and things like that, even with artwork, paintings I've seen. I can be in really any mood, and if I watch a certain film, or if I listen to a certain album, or look at a certain painting, go to a gallery and look at a painting, it will move me in the way that it will move me the same always. You know, an example would be something like the film Before Sunrise, which is my favourite film, probably, I'd say, if I was pushed. And I think I had the same thing with Midnight in Paris as well, which maybe wouldn't be that wasn't English, would maybe be my second favourite film, or tied first. And they both elicit the same reaction in me. Like they, you know, I've had many situations where I've watched both films really not feeling it, but those films have always picked me up and left me in a completely romantic headspace and just feeling so happy, and, you know, happy to be alive and lucky and connected, you know. Same with an album like What's the Story, Morning Glory, you know, which is probably one of my favourite albums, or The Joshua Tree by U2. You know, these kind of these great albums that I think I could listen to them in any mood, and they'll always leave me in the same state. They'll always leave me in a state of essentially like bliss or ecstasy or connection, really. You know, fuck, we're at 20 minutes already. That's been really fast, isn't it? Has it felt fast to you? I don't know how it's felt for you. You know, just say in the comments, has this video gone fast? I kind of want to keep speaking, but I don't know if that'll be impolite of me to take so much of your time, or to take any more of your time. But yeah, no, it's been a much better week for me. As you can probably tell, I mean, yeah, last week in Leeds I was very tired, very flat. You could probably see it. But yeah, now I feel, although I will say actually, making these videos actually really helps me. That's maybe the reason I do them. That's definitely the reason why I made the first weekly vlog, because I actually didn't mean to put that out. I was just going to film something just for myself. But then I thought, I'll put it out, and then it just has become a weekly thing. And so it's quite sort of, it's very useful for me, and I really enjoy it. Even last week, I really enjoyed putting out that video, and I find sort of speaking about things focused, to a camera. I'm looking at you, I'm focused, and I find that really sort of very powerful and very meaningful, really. And I'm very glad, that you've gotten this far. Thank you so much. Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments below. How's your week been? Do you suffer from SAD? How do you cope with it? What's your favorite music? What's music that kind of gets you through tough times? Yeah, recommend music to me if you want. I've suggested a few things today, but yeah, car horn, yes. But yeah, I think I will actually play you some music. It's not really a song. It's just a kind of cool progression that I have. I mean, it is a song. I haven't got a melody for it yet, but I felt like that it could work. It's quite a dynamic progression, and there's quite a lot to enjoy about it, I think. But I think I'm going to play that to you. I'm just thinking, is there anything else I want to say particularly? No, I think just that I think the way out of any rut or any lull is, I think it's maybe a Stoic philosophy, but it's about just thinking, all right, I need to get a bit more structure in my life. What am I doing that's just really not helping me, and how can I fix it? And then actually really sticking to those fixes, forcing yourself to get up earlier, because it's going to be difficult at first, but your body will get used to a new sleep routine, and then you'll actually be better off for it long term. Like, I found it difficult waking up at 9 a.m. this week, don't get me wrong. But once I'm up, I'm really glad that I've got up, that I've gotten up at that time. And then that gladness just permeates my day. And it's a little bit, it's just adding these little increments. I think that's what I always believe about well-being, is that, even I can show you actually. I made this actually 2 years ago, but it's a well-being mind map, right? So you can see how many things are actually on it. Things like dating life, friendships, exercise, or spirituality, leisure time, family time, all that sort of stuff. And I think that, because I realize that in periods of my life where I feel the most well, it's like all these things are at a good level, and I'm not relying on any one thing for well-being, essentially. And I feel like if periods of life where I'm not well, I'm putting too much emphasis on one or the other. I'm putting too much hope on my dating life or my family relationships or whatever. So you've got to have the balance between all of them, and that's what will make you feel well. So I was suggesting that actually for yourself, if you're struggling to find consistent well-being, make a mind map. Think, what periods of my life where I've been happiest or most fulfilled? If I think back, what was contributing to that? It wasn't just out of nothing. And then make a mind map, and then always have that in your mind, thinking, all right, am I keeping everything balanced? Am I being a good son or a good daughter or a good friend or a good partner? Am I giving equally to these things and not focusing on any one thing in particular? And once you sort of start investing on these different areas, over time you'll feel you will reap the rewards. You'll harvest the yield. You'll yield the harvest, something like that. You got to plant the seeds, and then after it grows, you've got all the corn. And that's really, I think, what well-being essentially comes down to. It's not about any one area of your life being particularly massively successful. Although that can help if one of them is boosted, but only if all the other ones are stable and well kept, well maintained. So that's really helpful for me to think about. So that's why this week at sleeping and music and discipline, essentially. that's where I think Stoicism is very valuable, the emphasis on sort of discipline. And I'm quite lucky, I'm quite a disciplined person by nature, or at least I have the capacity for it. But then again, I think all people do. If I think back, I don't think I've always been like this. I think I'm naturally quite lazy and quite acquiescent and a bit passive. But I've learned how to be quite disciplined, and I think you can as well. It's a skill that you can learn. You know, the most successful attributes can be acquired. You know, I think it was Einstein who said success is a. I didn't necessarily think it was just Einstein, but success is a habit. Basically, it's you know, when you kind of instill, you know, regular practices, basically being consistent in your practices, doing things consistently in the right way. Over time, your life will improve. You know, it just will if you keep going. But anyway, I've talked for far too long. I'm gonna play you something now. Yeah, this doesn't have a name, so I'll come up with a name probably for it after I play it. But it's quite a nice progression, so see what you think of it. Wonder if, gosh, I don't want to knock it down. Cool. Thank you for watching. May God bless you and keep you and give you what you need, whatever that may be.